Here's example 5 where we want to create an interval chart for the function. So here is our function graphed out, and what's happening in this region of our graph is the slope is a negative. So what is that interval? So I'm going to just identify our values on our x-axis. Here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to the negative, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. All right. So what's happening in this region right here? Let's change colors. So in this region, it's decreasing to the x value of 3. So what is that interval? That is negative infinity, comma, to our x value of 3. What is the slope? The slope in that interval, it's decreasing, so the gradient is a negative. What would be the derivative function's value? So that derivative function is going to be less than 0. All right, now sign change happens. It starts to increase. This is considered a critical point. Where is that critical point? It's at 3. So when the x value equals 3, we have a critical point. There would be a tangent right here, line, and that gradient is a slope of 0. So when we evaluate the derivative function, we would get 0. All right, now at 3, increases, 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 and then stops. So what is this interval? It starts at 3 and then stops at 0. So that interval, we write it as 3, 0. It's always based off the x-axis. What is this slope? This is an increasing function. So this gradient in that purple region is positive. So when we would evaluate the derivative function, we would get all positive numbers greater than 0. All right. Now, continuing on our graph, changes direction. It's decreasing. So there's another critical point. What is that critical point? It's at 0. So there's your critical point at x equals 0. The slope is 0, or the gradient, and the derivative function, when you evaluate it, you get 0. All right. Now, in this black region here, slope is negative. What is that interval? It starts at 0. Where does it stop on the x-axis? At 2. So the interval from 0 to 2 on the x-axis has a negative slope, and when you evaluate the derivative function, you're going to get all negative values. All right, notice you have another change. It's starting to increase. So there's a critical point here. What is that critical point? At 2. So when x equals 2, you have a gradient, a slope of 0, and your derivative function when you evaluate it is 0. Now we're increasing. Slope is positive. What is that interval? Starts at 2, and then it's going to stop at infinity. So to write that interval, starts at 2 at that critical point, and then stops at positive infinity. What is that slope? Positive gradient. And when we evaluate it, we're going to get a number greater than 0.